A young boy born in a quiet city in England, raised in the breathtaking landscapes of Norway, became one of the most feared strikers football has ever seen. A player whose speed rivals elite sprinters, whose strength overpowers defenders, and whose finishing seems almost supernatural. While most footballers spend years chasing greatness, Erling Haaland began breaking records before turning 23. This is the incredible story of Erling Braut Haaland, a football phenomenon who transformed from a small-town dreamer into one of the most unstoppable goal scorers of the modern era. Every generation of football produces players who redefine what is possible. Some become creative geniuses, others become legendary leaders. But every once in a while, a striker emerges who changes the way goals are scored. Erling Haaland is one of those rare players. Born on July 21, 2000, in Leeds, England, Erling entered a family already connected to football. His father, Erling Haaland, was a professional footballer who played in the English Premier League. Growing up around football gave Erling a unique perspective. Stadiums, training sessions, and professional athletes were part of everyday life. When his father's career in England came to an end, the family returned to Norway and settled in the small town of Bryne. Compared to the bright lights of England, Bryne was peaceful and quiet, but it became the perfect place for Erling to develop his skills. Even as a child, Erling was different. Coaches noticed his incredible athletic ability. He was taller, stronger, and faster than most players his age. Yet what truly impressed everyone was his obsession with improving. He wasn't satisfied with simply being talented. He wanted to become the best. Football wasn't his only passion. He also excelled in athletics. Reports suggest he recorded an impressive standing long jump as a child, demonstrating the explosive power that would later become one of his greatest weapons on the football pitch. At Bryne FK, he quickly rose through the youth ranks. Unlike many young players who relied on tricks or flashy dribbling, Erling focused on movement, positioning, finishing, and physical dominance. Every training session became another opportunity to improve. By the age of 15, he was already playing against adults. Facing experienced defenders at such a young age taught him resilience and maturity. Although goals didn't come immediately, the experience helped shape his mentality. Soon, Molde FK recognized his enormous potential. Under the guidance of legendary Norwegian manager Ole Gunnar Solskjær, Erling refined every aspect of his game. Solskjær, himself one of football's greatest finishers, worked closely with the young striker, helping him understand positioning, timing, and clinical finishing. It didn't take long before European scouts began paying attention. In 2019, Erling joined Austrian club Red Bull Salzburg. Few expected what would happen next. Almost immediately, Haaland exploded onto the European stage. Goals came in every competition. His pace terrified defenders. His powerful left foot became one of the deadliest weapons in football. Then came the UEFA Champions League. Most young players struggle under the pressure of Europe's biggest competition. Haaland embraced it. He scored goal after goal against some of Europe's strongest clubs. Suddenly, the entire football world was asking the same question. Who is Erling Haaland? One performance changed everything. At the 2019 FIFA U20 World Cup, Haaland scored an astonishing 9 goals in a single match against Honduras. Although the opposition wasn't among the strongest, breaking such a record demonstrated his ruthless mentality. Every opportunity mattered. Every chance had to become a goal. Europe's biggest clubs lined up to sign him. In January 2020, Borussia Dortmund won the race. It was the perfect move. The Bundesliga's attacking style suited Haaland perfectly. On his debut as a substitute, he announced himself in spectacular fashion by scoring a remarkable hat-trick in just 23 minutes. Fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Every week seemed to bring another record. Youngest player to reach Champions League goal milestones. Fastest player to score certain numbers of goals. Most goals in limited appearances. The records continued to fall. Watching Haaland play was unlike watching a traditional striker. He combined the strength of a target man, the acceleration of a winger, and the finishing ability of football's greatest number 9s. Defenders often knew exactly what he intended to do. Stopping him was another matter entirely. Standing over 6 feet 4 inches tall, Haaland possessed extraordinary physical presence. Yet despite his size, he could sprint faster than many smaller attackers. His timing inside the penalty area became almost perfect. One touch. One finish. Goal. Again and again. While fans admired his goals, coaches admired something even more important. His movement without the ball. Haaland constantly searched for spaces that defenders couldn't protect. Every run was calculated. Every sprint had purpose. Behind the scenes, his discipline became legendary. He focused intensely on recovery, nutrition, sleep, and physical conditioning. Teammates often described him as someone completely obsessed with improving every detail of his game. Rather than being distracted by fame, Haaland concentrated on becoming more complete. By 2022, another huge decision awaited. Manchester City signed Erling Haaland. Many wondered whether he could adapt to the Premier League. English football was considered faster, stronger, and more demanding than the Bundesliga. Haaland answered those doubts almost immediately. Goals poured in from every angle. Headers, long-range finishes, powerful left-foot strikes, right-foot finishes, tap-ins, counterattacks, penalties, every type of goal imaginable. Week after week, Premier League defenders struggled to contain him. Records that had stood for decades began disappearing. In his very first Premier League season, Haaland broke the record for the most goals scored in a single 38-game campaign, finishing with an astonishing total that rewrote English football history. His impact helped Manchester City achieve something historic. The club won the Premier League, then the FA Cup, then the UEFA Champions League. Manchester City completed the famous Continental treble, with Haaland playing a central role throughout the campaign. Although he wasn't always the player scoring in every decisive final, his performances across the season forced opponents to completely change their defensive strategies. Few players have transformed an attack so quickly after arriving at a new club. Off the pitch, Haaland remained surprisingly calm. Unlike many modern superstars, he rarely became involved in controversy. Instead, he focused on training, family, teammates, and constant improvement. His interviews often reflected confidence without arrogance. He enjoyed scoring goals. But even more than that, he enjoyed winning. Another fascinating aspect of Haaland is his mentality. Every missed opportunity motivates him. Every difficult match becomes another lesson. He approaches football almost like a scientist, analyzing movements, understanding defenders, and constantly searching for new ways to improve. His combination of intelligence and athleticism makes him one of the most complete strikers in world football. As his career continued, comparisons naturally began. Some compared his finishing to Cristiano Ronaldo. Others compared his positioning to Ruud van Nistelrooy. Some even believed his physical dominance resembled Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yet Haaland has created a style entirely his own. He doesn't rely on complicated tricks. He doesn't need endless dribbles. His greatest weapon is efficiency. Every movement serves one purpose: scoring. By his mid-20s, Haaland had already collected league titles, domestic cups, Champions League success, individual golden boots, Player of the Season awards, and countless scoring records. Perhaps even more remarkable is that many experts believe he has not yet reached his peak. With years of football still ahead of him, he has the opportunity to challenge some of the greatest scoring records ever set. Can he become the greatest striker of his generation? Can he surpass the legendary numbers achieved by Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi? Only time will answer those questions. But one thing is already certain: Erling Haaland has changed modern football. He has reminded the world that the traditional number 9 is far from extinct. Power, speed, precision, discipline, relentless ambition. These qualities define one of football's most extraordinary talents. From the small town of Brine to lifting Europe's biggest trophies, Erling Haaland's journey proves that greatness is built through hard work, fearless ambition, and an unbreakable desire to improve every single day. His story is still being written. And if history is any indication, the next chapter may be even greater than the last. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe to The Legend Uncovered, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story of football's greatest legends.